Hello, Arsenal family, and welcome back to Arsenal Daily News. Today we got something absolutely massive for you. We are sitting at the top of the Premier League table. The title is within our grasp, and the January transfer window is wide open. But before you start screaming for a marquee signing, I need to show you something that will completely change how you think about this window. We are going to decode exactly what Mikel Arteta is looking for by analyzing his very first 5 signings when he arrived at Arsenal. Pablo Mari, Cedric Soares, Alex Runarsson, Willian, and Gabriel Magalhaes. These names tell us everything we need to know about what Arteta truly values. And trust me, it is not what most fans think. But that is not all. We have got a title-defining clash coming up. Arsenal versus Liverpool at the Emirates. The league leaders against the reigning champions. And we are facing a potential injury crisis with up to 8 players missing across both squads. Calafiori out, Mascara out, Dahlmann sidelined. This is going to test everything Arteta has built. So, if you want to understand the mind of our manager, if you want to know exactly what type of player Arsenal will target this month, and if you want a full breakdown of this crucial Liverpool showdown, then you need to stay with me until the very end of this video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because this is Arsenal Daily News, and we go deeper than anyone else. Now, let us get into it. Hello, Arsenal family, and welcome back to Arsenal Daily News. Today, we have something really special for you. We are going to dive deep into what might be the most revealing analysis of how Mikel Arteta thinks about building his squad. This is not just another transfer rumor video. This is about understanding the mind of our manager and what we can expect in this crucial January transfer window. Before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because we are bringing you daily Arsenal content that goes beyond the surface level stuff you see everywhere else. Now let us get into it. The current situation. Arsenal sit at the top of the Premier League table right now. Yes, you heard that right. After 3 consecutive seasons of finishing second under Mikel Arteta, we are finally leading the pack. This is not just any season for us. This could be the season we end that drought that has haunted us since 2004. That is right. It has been more than 20 years since Arsenal last lifted the Premier League trophy. The pressure is on. The expectations are sky high. And with the January transfer window now open, everyone is asking the same question. Who will Arteta bring in to help us get over the line? Will we finally see that marquee signing that pushes us to glory? Or will Arteta stick to his principles and look for something more specific? Well, today we're going to answer that question by looking at something most people are not talking about. We are going to examine the very first signings Mikel Arteta made when he arrived at Arsenal. Because if you want to know what someone values, you do not look at what they say, you look at what they do. And Arteta's first 5 signings tell us everything we need to know about what he will be looking for this month. The first signing, Pablo Mari. Let us start at the very beginning. January 2020. Mikel Arteta had just taken over as Arsenal manager, and the club was in a difficult position. The defense needed reinforcement. And who did Arteta choose as his very first signing? Pablo Mari. Now, Pablo Mari was not a household name. He came in on a loan deal from Flamengo until the end of that season. The deal was later made permanent that summer. But here is what is fascinating. Pablo Mari only made 22 appearances in an Arsenal shirt before eventually leaving for Serie A club Monza in 2023, following a successful loan spell. So why did Arteta choose him? And what does this tell us about what Arteta values? Arteta himself gave us the answer at the time of the signing. He said Pablo Mari was very important because he could balance what Arteta wanted to do from the back line. Mari was a left-footed center half. That detail might seem small, but it was huge for Arteta. He said Mari gives us more options, more solutions, and opens up the pitch more. He also mentioned they have been following Mari for the past few months, and were really happy to have him. Think about what this tells us. Arteta's very first signing was not a superstar. It was not a big name. It was a player who fit a very specific tactical need. Arteta wanted someone who could play the ball out from the back with their left foot, someone who could provide balance and open up passing angles. This was not about fame or reputation. This was about finding the right piece for the tactical puzzle Arteta was trying to solve. Even though Mari did not become a long-term success at Arsenal, the principle behind his signing is crystal clear. Arteta values tactical fit over reputation. He values specific qualities that serve his system, and he is willing to take a chance on lesser-known players if they have those qualities. The second signing, Cedric Soares. Just days after signing Pablo Mari, Arteta made his second move. He brought in Cedric Soares, also on a loan deal in January 2020. Cedric was a fullback who came in to solve another specific problem Arsenal had at the time. The situation was this. Arsenal's regular right-back Hector Bellerin was injured. Another defensive option, Callum Chambers, was also injured. The club was so desperate that defensive midfielder Ainsley Maitland-Niles was being played at right back. Arteta needed a proper solution. But here is where it gets interesting. Cedric was not just a right back. He could also play left back and right midfield. During his time at Arsenal, Cedric made 64 appearances. The majority were at right back, but he also made 10 appearances at left back and 6 appearances in midfield. Listen to what Arteta said about Cedric at the time. He called him a player with big experience who had played in different countries and in the Premier League. Arteta said Cedric knew what it means to play at this level. He had desire and commitment. Arteta also revealed he had been following Cedric for a few seasons and really liked what he could bring. And crucially, Arteta mentioned the conditions were right for Arsenal to improve the squad. Notice the pattern forming here. Experience, versatility, commitment. These are the words Arteta uses. Cedric was heavily relied upon during the 2021 to 2022 season. He proved to be exactly what Arteta needed. A reliable player who could fill multiple positions and never complain about his role. This signing tells us Arteta values squad players who can do a job in multiple positions. He does not just want specialists. He wants footballers who can adapt and be deployed wherever the team needs them. This kind of versatility is gold for a manager trying to compete on multiple fronts with a limited squad size. The third signing, Alex Runarsson. Now we come to what most Arsenal fans would call a signing that did not work out. Alex Runarsson arrived in the summer of 2020 as a backup goalkeeper. He made just 6 appearances for Arsenal. One of those was a 15-minute cameo in the Premier League when Arsenal lost 2-1 to Wolves after the starting keeper Bernd Leno was sent off. Most people would look at Runarsson's time at Arsenal and call a failure. And yes, he was not popular with the fans. But here is what people miss. The Runarsson signing tells us something crucial about Arteta's philosophy. Arteta believes in competition for positions. He wants every player in the squad to feel like they have to fight for their place in the starting 11. Even if Runarsson was not good enough to actually challenge the number 1 spot, the principle behind his signing is important. Arteta values strength in depth. He wants a squad to have options at every position. This might seem obvious, but many managers do not think this way. Some managers are happy to have a clear first choice and then a much weaker backup. But Arteta wants genuine competition. He wants players who will push each other to improve. Even when a signing like Runarsson does not work out, it shows us what Arteta is trying to build. A squad where no one can be complacent. The fourth signing, Willian. In the summer of 2020, Arsenal made a move that got everyone talking. They signed Willian from Chelsea on a free transfer. This was a player who had won the Premier League. A player who could play across the entire forward line. A player who knew what it took to succeed at the highest level. Arteta was excited about this signing. He said he believed Willian was a player who could really make a difference for Arsenal. The club had been monitoring him for the past few months and had a clear intention to strengthen in the attacking midfielder and winger positions. Arteta praised Willian's versatility, saying he could play in 3 or 4 different positions. He also highlighted Willian's experience of everything in the football world, but said Willian still had the ambition to come to Arsenal and contribute to bringing the club where it belongs. Now, we all know how this story ended. Willian made 37 appearances and scored just 1 goal with 7 assists. He did not live up to expectations. He left Arsenal after just 1 season. But again, forget the outcome for a moment. Look at what Arteta was trying to do. He wanted a proven winner. someone with Premier League experience, someone versatile who could play multiple positions, someone with the right mentality and ambition. These were the criteria Arteta used when making the signing. The fact that it did not work out does not change what the signing tells us about Arteta's thinking. He values proven quality. He values versatility. He values experience in English football. And he values players with the right mentality who want to help Arsenal get back to the top. The fifth signing, Gabriel Magalhaes. And now we come to the signing that defines everything Arteta has tried to build at Arsenal. Gabriel Magalhaes. Gabriel arrived in the summer of 2020 and has been absolutely sensational ever since. The numbers speak for themselves. Gabriel has made 230 appearances across all competitions. He has scored 24 goals, including 4 this season, as Arsenal chase the Premier League title. He is one of the first names on the team sheet under Arteta. He is a leader. He is reliable. He is strong. And he has become dangerous from set pieces. Gabriel represents everything Arteta wants in a defender. He is physically strong. He is comfortable on the ball. He can defend aggressively, but also play out from the back. He is consistent. He rarely has a bad game. He is the kind of player you can build a title-winning defense around. This signing shows that when Arteta finds the right player, he knows it. Gabriel was not the cheapest option. He was not the most famous option, but he was the right option. And Arteta backed his judgment. That judgment has been proven right over and over again. Gabriel has been pivotal in transforming Arsenal into one of the most capable defensive units in the league in recent times. What this means for January. So now let us bring this all together. What do these 5 signings tell us about what Arteta will be looking for in this January transfer window? I think we can identify 3 clear priorities. First, versatility. Every single one of these signings, even the ones that did not work out, were players who could play multiple positions or provide different tactical solutions. Pablo Mari was a left-footed center-back who could open up the pitch. Cedric could play right back, left back, or midfield. Willian could play across the forward line. Even Alex Runnarsson, for all his limitations, was brought in to provide competition and depth. This tells us Arteta is not interested in pure specialists who can only do one thing. He wants players who give him options, players who can adapt, players who can solve different problems depending on what the game requires. So in January, do not expect Arsenal to sign a player who can only play one position. Expect someone who can fill multiple roles if needed. Second, reliability and competition. Arteta wants players who will fight for their place and push others to improve. He wants strength and depth across the squad. This is not about having superstars in every position. This is about having a squad where everyone has to prove themselves and no one can relax. This tells us that if Arsenal make a signing in January, it will not necessarily be someone who walks straight into the starting 11. It might be someone who provides genuine competition for a current starter. It might be someone who can step in when injuries or fixture congestion hit. Arteta values having quality options, not just quality starters. Third, defensive solidity. Look at the positions Arteta prioritized in his first window. 2 center-backs, 2 full-backs, 1 goalkeeper. For out of his first 5 signings were defensive players. The only attacker he signed was Willian, and even then, Willian was chosen partly for his work rate and experience, not just his attacking ability. This tells us something crucial. When it comes to the crunch, when Arteta needs to strengthen his squad for a title push, he thinks about defense first. Gabriel has been the cornerstone of Arsenal's recent success. He is strong, reliable, and even contributes goals from set pieces. These are the qualities Arteta values most. The pattern is clear. Arsenal fans, the pattern is absolutely clear. Mikel Arteta does not chase big names for the sake of it. He does not buy players just because they're exciting or because the fans want them. He identifies specific tactical needs and then finds players who can fulfill those needs while also providing versatility and competition. He values players who fit his system over players with big reputations. He values reliability over flair. He values defensive strength over attacking glamour. And most importantly, he values squad depth and competition over having a small group of superstars and weak backups. So, what should we expect in January? Based on these patterns, I would expect Arsenal to target players who are defensively solid first and foremost, players who can play multiple positions, players with Premier League experience or experience at a high level in other leagues, players who have a mentality to compete for their place. Do not expect Arsenal to panic by a superstar striker just because the fans are demanding it. Do not expect a flashy attacking midfielder who cannot defend. Expect Arteta to stick to his principles. Expect him to identify the specific weaknesses in the current squad and find players who address those weaknesses while also fitting into the culture and system he has built. The stakes have never been higher. Remember where we started this video. Arsenal are top of the Premier League. After 3 consecutive second-place finishes, we are finally in the position we have been working towards. This is the season. This is the moment. And Arteta knows that better than anyone. The January transfer window could be crucial. 1 or 2 smart signings could make the difference between winning the title and falling short again. But the key word there is smart signings. Not big signings. Not exciting signings. Smart signings. Looking at how Arteta approached his first transfer window gives us confidence that he knows what he is doing. Yes, not every signing works out. Pablo Mari and Alex Runarsson and Willian did not become Arsenal legends, but Gabriel did, and Gabriel alone has been worth more than all the others combined. Arteta is not afraid to take calculated risks on players who fit his criteria. He backs his judgment, and when he gets it right, he gets it spectacularly right. That is what we need this January. Not necessarily the biggest name, but the right name, the right fit, the right mentality. Final thoughts. Arsenal fans, we are in an incredible position right now. We lead the Premier League. We have a manager who knows exactly what he wants and how to build a squad. And we have a transfer window opening at just the right time to strengthen for the final push towards glory. The evidence from Arteta's first 5 signings tells us he will approach this window with the same principles that have got us to this position: versatility, reliability, competition, defensive solidity. These are not glamorous buzzwords, but they are the foundation of title-winning teams. So when you see Arsenal linked with players in the coming weeks, ask yourself these questions. Can they play multiple positions? Do they have the right mentality to compete for their place? Will they make the defense stronger? If the answer is yes, then that is probably someone Arteta is genuinely interested in. If the answer is no, if it is just a big name being linked for clicks and views, then take it with a massive pinch of salt. Arteta has shown us who he is as a manager through his first signings. He is focused, he is strategic, and he prioritizes what actually wins football matches over what generate headlines. That is what gives me confidence as we enter this crucial period. We have a manager with a clear plan, a manager who knows what he wants, a manager who has the courage to back his convictions, and most importantly, a manager who has shown that when he gets his signings right, he can build something special. Thank you so much for watching Arsenal Daily News. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you do not miss any of our daily content as we follow Arsenal's title charge. Let me know in the comments what you think Arteta will prioritize this January. And remember, trust the process. Come on, you Gunners. Arsenal Daily Talk, the big Arsenal versus Liverpool showdown. Hello, Gooners, and welcome back to Arsenal Daily Talk. I am absolutely buzzing to bring you this analysis today because we have got a massive match coming up. I am talking about Arsenal versus Liverpool at the Emirates Stadium on Thursday night. This is the kind of game that could define our entire season. So grab your tea, settle in, and let me walk you through everything you need to know about this crucial Premier League encounter. The context: a title race taking shape. Let me start by painting the picture of where we are right now in this Premier League season. Arsenal are sitting pretty at the top of the table. We are the clear favorites to win the Premier League title. Yes, you heard that right. We have taken charge at the summit with an impressive run of form that has got every Gooner dreaming of silverware. Now, Liverpool, on the other hand, they are the reigning champions. But here is where it gets interesting. Since they beat us earlier in the season, they have experienced quite a significant drop in form. They are not the unstoppable force they were last year. Instead, They have had to rebuild their momentum and are now fighting to get back into contention for the top four. That is right. The champions are scrapping for a top four finish while we are leading the charge of the title. What a turnaround. The last meeting, a painful memory. Before we dive into the injury situation, let me remind you of what happened the last time these two sides met. It was not a pleasant evening for Arsenal fans, I can tell you that. Arne Slot, the Liverpool manager, got the better of our Mikel Arteta that night, and the way it happened made it even more frustrating. It was a late goal, a free kick. Dominic Soboslai stepped up and found the back of the net, handing all 3 points to Liverpool. That goal basically won them the match. It was one of those moments where you just sit there stunned, knowing that a single moment of brilliance has cost you dearly. But that was then. This is now. And Arsenal are a completely different animal at this point in the season. Why this match matters so much. The article makes it crystal clear that this match could have huge implications on the outcome of both team seasons. For Arsenal, this is a chance to put even more distance between ourselves and the chasing pack. This is about maintaining our position at the top and showing everyone that we mean business this year. We are not just participants in the title race. We are leading it. For Liverpool, this match is about pride, about proving they still belong among the elite, and about securing those precious points that will help them lock down Champions League football for next season. They are the champions, but they are fighting for survival in the top four. That tells you everything about how dramatically their season has shifted. The article describes this as an intriguing meeting between the champions and the potential champions-elect. That phrase right there, champions-elect, that is what we are fighting to become. This is Arsenal's time. But to make it happen, we need to navigate games like this one. The injury crisis, 8 players potentially missing. Now here is where things get really interesting and potentially worrying. The article states that injuries and absences could play a large part in proceedings in North London. We could be looking at 8 players missing from this match across both squads. That is a significant number. Let me break down each one for you and explain what it means for both teams. Arsenal's injury concerns Ricardo Calafiori, the warm-up disaster. Let us start with Ricardo Calafiori. This is our defender who picked up an injury in the most frustrating way possible. He got injured during the warm-up for Arsenal's clash against Brighton back in late December. Can you imagine that? You are getting ready for a match, going through your usual pregame routine, and boom, injury. Just like that, your match is over before it even began. Calafiori had to drop out of the matchday squad entirely. Miles Lewis-Skelly came in to replace him. Now, the good news is that Arteta has given us an update on his condition. The manager confirmed that Calafiori remains out of action for the Liverpool clash, so we will definitely not see him on Thursday night. But here's a positive spin. Arteta said, and I quote, "No, they are out again. I think they will return pretty soon. They have to go to the last stage of the rehab. I think everything goes well. Hopefully very soon they will be available for selection." So Calafiori is in the final stage of his rehabilitation. He is close. Just not quite there yet for this massive game. Christian Mosquera, another defensive blow. Next up we have got Christian Mosquera. The article describes him as another Arsenal defender, specifically a center back. He has been out of action as well, and according to the report, his injury came against Brentford in early December. That is an ankle injury we are talking about here. Mosquera being unavailable is quite a blow for our defensive options. Arteta confirmed at his press conference that Mosquera will not be available against Liverpool. Just like Calafiori, he is out for this one. However, the manager also indicated that Mosquera is closing in on a possible return action. When Arteta talked about players being in the last stage of rehab and returning pretty soon, he was referring to both Calafiori and Mosquera together. So the silver lining here is that both of these defenders should be back in contention very soon. But very soon does not help us on Thursday night when Liverpool come to town. Max Dowman, the youngster setback. Now let me tell you about Max Dowman. This is one of our young talents who has been having what the article calls a breakout season at Arsenal. This kid has been enjoying his run in the team, getting valuable experience, and showing real promise for the future. But that run has hit a snag. Dauman picked up an ankle injury. It seems like ankle injuries are just plaguing our squad right now. The youngster is still set for a spell on the sidelines as he recovers from this injury. The article does not give us a specific timeline for his return, but the fact that it says he is set for a spell on the sideline suggests it is not just a minor knock. He will be out for a bit longer. For a young player having a breakthrough season, this must be incredibly frustrating. But these things happen in football. The important thing is that he recovers properly and comes back stronger. Liverpool's injury situation, Hugo Ekitike, the striker in doubt. Now, let us flip over to Liverpool's injury concerns. They've got their own problems to deal with, and the big one involves their striker, Hugo Ekitike. The article tells us that Ekitike missed out on Liverpool's match with Fulham due to muscle soreness. That is never a good sign because muscle issues can be tricky. They can linger, they can recur, and you have got to be really careful with them. Here is what makes Ekitike's situation different from the Arsenal injuries. He could actually be available for the match against us. It is not certain, but there is a real possibility. The article states that while he is yet to train, the forward could be available once again when the Reds take on Arsenal. Arne Slot gave a press conference update on Ekitike's fitness, and I think it is worth going through exactly what he said because it gives us a window into Liverpool's thinking. Slot said, "He has not trained with us until now, and let us see if he can today." So as of that press conference, Ekitike had not trained with the team yet, but Slot was hoping he might be able to train that very day. Then Slot continued, "I have said, I think, 2 or 3 days ago when we played Fulham that he is not going to be out for too long, but because games come so fast, he is in between maybe training with the team, or it would take him 1-2 days extra." So what Slot is basically saying here is that Ekitike is in that awkward in-between phase. He is almost ready, but not quite there. It is a race against time to see if he can get fit enough to feature against Arsenal. What these injuries mean for Thursday night. So let's step back and look at the big picture here. Arsenal are potentially missing 3 players. 2 defenders in Calafiori and Mascara, plus the youngster Dauman. Liverpool might be without their striker Ekitike, although that one is still up in the air. For Arsenal, losing 2 defenders is not ideal, especially against a team like Liverpool who could be dangerous going forward. Even though Liverpool have not been at their best this season, they are still the reigning champions. They still have quality players who can hurt you if you give them space. Our defensive options are being tested here. But you know what? This is where squad depth comes into play. This is where Arteta's planning and our recruitment comes to the fore. We have got players who can step in. We saw Miles Lewis-Skelly come in for Calafiori against Brighton. Other players will need to raise their game and fill the gaps left by Mascara. For Liverpool, if Ekitike cannot play, that is a real blow to their attacking threat. Strikers are goal scorers. They are the ones who put the ball in the back of the net. If you are missing your striker, you have got to find goals from somewhere else. Can their midfielders step up? Can their wingers provide the cutting edge? These are questions Arne Slot will need to answer. The tactical battle, Arteta versus Slot. Beyond the injuries, we have got a fascinating tactical battle brewing here. Mikel Arteta versus Arne Slot. The last time these 2 managers faced each other, Slot came out on top with that late Szoboszlai free kick winner. You can bet Arteta remembers that. You can bet he has been working on ways to ensure it does not happen again. Arteta will be looking at Liverpool's recent form and thinking this is a perfect opportunity. They are not the same dominant force they were last season. They have shown vulnerabilities. They have dropped points. This is not the Liverpool that steamrolled everyone in their path to the title. This is a Liverpool team that is rebuilding, that is finding its feet again. But here is the thing about wounded animals. They can be dangerous. Liverpool will be coming to the Emirates with something to prove. They will want to show that they are still relevant in the title conversation, even if realistically they are fighting for top 4 rather than top spot. They will want to do the double over Arsenal and relive that late winner from earlier in the season. The atmosphere at the Emirates. Can you imagine what the atmosphere is going to be like at the Emirates on Thursday night? The fans will be absolutely bouncing. This is Arsenal at the top of the table, facing the reigning champions. This is a statement game. This is a chance to show everyone that we are not just top of the league by luck or by accident. We are there because we're the best team in England right now. The crowd will be right behind the boys from the first whistle to the last. Every tackle, every pass, every shot will be met with roars of encouragement. The Emirates can be an absolute cauldron when it is rocking, and for a match of this magnitude, you better believe it will be rocking. What Arsenal need to do. Let me tell you what Arsenal need to do to win this match. First, we need to start fast. No sitting back and waiting for Liverpool to make the first move. We are at home. We are top of the league. We need to impose ourselves on this game from minute one. Second, we need to be solid at the back. Yes, we are missing Calafiri and Mascara, but that is no excuse. The players who come in need to be switched on for the full 90 minutes. Liverpool might be struggling for form, but they have still got players who can punish mistakes. One lapse in concentration, one moment of sloppiness, and suddenly you are chasing the game. Third, we need to create chances and take them. It sounds obvious, but it is crucial. If we dominate possession but do not convert our opportunities, we leave the door open for Liverpool to snatch something. We need to be clinical. We need to be ruthless. Fourth, we need to manage the game intelligently. If we go ahead, we cannot sit back and invite pressure. We need to control the tempo, keep the ball, and make Liverpool chase shadows. Tire them out, frustrate them, and then when the spaces open up, punish them again. The bigger picture. This match is about more than just 3 points, although obviously the 3 points are crucial. This is about sending a message to the rest of the Premier League. This is about Arsenal saying, we are for real this season. This is about taking another step towards ending that long wait for a Premier League title. The article mentions that Arsenal have not won the league since 2003. That is a long time. That is too long for a club of our stature and history. But this season feels different. This season feels like it could finally be our year. And beating Liverpool at home would be another massive statement of intent. Final thoughts. So there you have it. Gooners. Arsenal versus Liverpool at the Emirates on Thursday night. Arsenal sitting pretty at the top of the table as clear favorites for the title. Liverpool, the reigning champions, now fighting for the top 4 after a drop in form. Up to 8 players potentially missing across both teams due to injuries. Arsenal will definitely be without Calafiri, Mascara, and Dowman. Liverpool might be without Ekatike, but that is still uncertain as he races to be fit. It is going to be a tactical battle between Arteta and Slot, a rematch of their earlier meeting, which Liverpool won thanks to that late Szoboszlai free kick. But things are different now. Arsenal are flying. We are confident. We are at home. And we have got the chance to put even more daylight between ourselves and the chasing pack. This is exactly the kind of game that defines champions. This is exactly the kind of match where legends are made. I am backing Arsenal to get the job done. I am backing Arteta to outwit Slot this time around. And I am backing the Emirates crowd to roar the boys to victory. Come on, you Gunners. Thanks so much for watching Arsenal Daily Talk. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you have not already. Ring the notification bell so you do not miss any of our coverage. And let me know in the comments what you think about this match. What is your predicted score? Who do you think will be the man of the match? Let me know your thoughts. Until next time, keep the faith, stay positive, and remember, we are Arsenal and we're going to win the league. See you in the next one. Come on, you Gunners.